Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about one of the most iconic supernatural romance books ever written, Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. How now honestly, whether people love this book or criticize it, nobody can deny the impact it had on pop culture. It completely changed the vampire romance genre and created massive fan base all around the world. And later, because of how popular the books became, they were adapted into movies as well. Today, I'm going to give the full review about the from my perspective, talking about the story, characters, romance, suspense, vampire methodology, and the emotion themes, and also what makes this book both loved and criticized even today. Let's get on with it. So, beginning of the story. The story follows teenage girl named Isabella Shawn, who prefers being called Bella. Bella moves from sunny Phoenix, Arizona to the small rainy town of Forks, Washington, to live with her father, Charlie Swan. And honestly, one thing this book does extremely well from the beginning is atmosphere. Fox feels cold, gloomy, mysterious, and isolated. The constant rainforest, clouds, and the silence create this perfect supernatural setting. The town itself almost feels like another character in the story. Bella is very quiet, introvert. She is awkward socially, not expressive, and often feel disconnected from the people around her. So let's meet the Edward Cullen. Everything changed when Bella meets Edward Cullen. Edward is introduced as an incredibly handsome, pale, mysterious student who acts strangely around Bella for very beginning. And honestly, the biology classroom scene is the one of the best introduction to ever supernatural romance character I've ever seen. When Edward first sits next to the Bella, her scent affects him so strongly that all he thinks about is killing her, drinking her blood. The book explains how difficult it is to him to control himself in that moment. And instead of hurting her, Edward suddenly disappears from school for days because he is terrified what he might do. The mystery immediately pulls both Bella and the Reaper deeper into the story. Edward's character. One I personally found interesting is Edward's backstory. Edward isn't just some random vampire. He's died during the Spanish influenza when his mother begged Cullen to save him. So then turned him into the vampire. The Cullen family itself is actually very unique compared to traditional vampires. They do not drink human blood. Instead, they survive on the animal blood because uh, Carlyle believed that killing humans is morally wrong, and Edward himself struggled out with being a vampire. Earlier in his life, he hunted criminals because he couldn't fully control his bloodlust. But later, he found peace with philosophy. I think this adds emotional depth to Edward because he constantly sees himself as a monster even though he's trying to be good. Bella's curiosity and mystery. As Bella spends more time around the Edward, she starts noticing strange things. His skin is ice cold, eyes change color, he moves impossibly fast, and he somehow always appears exactly where danger happens. One major moment is when Bella almost gets crushed by the van in the school parking lot, but Edward saves her instantly with the impossible speed and the strength. So for a scene, then we get into the most iconic moments in the entire book. Bella finally confronts Edward the first and tell him, "I know what you are." What you are, and Edward say it loud. Bella says, "Vampire." The scene is legendary. Edward then steps into the sunlight, and instead of burning, his skin sparkles like diamonds. And honestly, this become the one of the most recognizable vampire concepts in the modern fiction. Edward then explained that he is a predator, and everything around him is designed to attract human. He even tells Bella that he is dangerous, but instead of running away, Bella becomes even more attracted to him. And from there, their relation truly begins. The romance. Now, the romance is probably biggest part the uh, of this movie and the book as well, because that's the reason Twilight became so popular. First, book captures the emotional intense of first love really well. Obsession, curiosity, nervousness, yeah, emotional dependence. So Bella Edward's relationship feels emotionally overwhelming, and I think that's exactly what connected so strongly with young readers. Edward consistently tried to protect Bella, while Bella becomes fascinated by both his danger and his emotional vulnerability. At the same time, though, looking at it today, I can understand some criticisms too. Some parts of their relationship can feel unhealthy and overly dependent emotionally. Edward can sometimes feel controlling, and Bella's life starts revolving almost entirely around him. But despite that, the chemistry between them is undeniable, and the emotional tension keeps the story addictive. The Cullen family. One thing I really enjoyed personally is Cullen family. Even though they are vampires, they actually feel warm, caring, elegant, and they're civilized. So, Carlisle is compassionate with and wise. Alice is energetic and lovable. Jasper struggles with controlling his instincts. Rosalie is cold but interesting. Emmett brings humor and strength to the family, and I really like how Bella slowly becomes a part of their world. Scenes like Edward showing Bella his room, playing piano, and carrying her through forest give the relationship magic and dreamlike feeling. So there's a baseball scene, and then we get the probably coolest scene in the entire story, the baseball scene. Edward takes Bella to the watch Cullen family play baseball during the thunderstorm because vampires hit the ball so hard that sound literally sounds like thunder. The entire scene feels fun and cinematic, energetic and supernatural at the same time. But this is where slowly sun becomes dangerous. James, the predator. While the Cullens are playing baseball and group and nomadic vampire arrives, unlike Cullens, uh, these vampires kill human freely, and among in James, one of the most dangerous characters in the book. The when the wind carries Bella sent toward him, James immediately becomes obsessed with hunting her. And James isn't hunting Bella for survival; he hunts because he enjoys the chase. That makes him terrifying. Alice sees this. Alice sees this vision as Bella being hunted, and Edward reads the James' thoughts and realizes Bella is in serious danger. The hunt. The Cullens immediately try to protect Bella. Edward takes her away from Fox and hides her in Phoenix while the others attempt to distract James. But James turned into the much smarter than expected. He records Bella's mother's voice and tricks Bella into believing her mother is in danger. Bella then suddenly secretly leaves everyone and goes alone to her old ballet, ballet studio. And honestly, this entire sequence becomes incredibly suspenseful. James attacks Bella violently and nearly kills her. For the first time in the story, Bella truly experiences how powerless humans are compared to vampires. Final battle and the hospital. So, a brutal vampire freak breaks out and Edward destroys James before he can kill Bella. But during the attack, James bites Bella and vampire venom begins spreading through her body. This creates one of the most emotional moments of the story because Edward has to suck up the venom but before Bella transforms into vampire. And because Edward is already struggling with Bella's scent constantly, this becomes incredibly dangerous for him emotionally. But he managed to stop himself and the saves her. Bella later wakes up in the hospital injured but alive, with Edward by her side. And honestly, ending feels emotionally romantic and satisfying while still leaving room for future stories. My personal perspective in the movie and the TV series is that it's the emotional atmosphere, the rain is hitting, mysterious romance, supernatural danger, emotional tension, and tragic beauty. Edward's character all combined into the very memorable. This book creates feeling, and I think why millions of people become emotionally attached to it, even though the story flows some slow pacing, over dramatic moments, unhealthy relationship dynamics, and very emotionally depth romance. It succeeds creating the immersive emotional experience, strengths and weakness. So overall, the biggest strengths of the Twilight are incredible atmosphere, memorable romance, emotional storytelling, and suspension mystery. And whereas weakness is Bella sometimes lacking the independence, some toxic relationship elements, slow middle chapters, and limited environment for certain side characters. So in my perspective, so overall I give the Twilight around 10 uh, 8 out of 10, not because the perfect literature, but because it creates such a strong emotional atmospheric experience. If you enjoy romance, vampires, emotional love stories, and mystery, I think this is the book for you. So that's my field review and overview of Twilight. Let me know in the comments. Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob? And what did you think about the Bella and the Edward's relationship?